Fight!
Round 6.
It'll be some time before we can extract any information from her.
Perhaps she would respond to an alternative form of persuasion. I think it is time you demonstrated the full power of this station. Set your course for Alderaan.
With pleasure.
Look at this. Ever since the XP-38 came out, they just aren't in demand.
It'll be enough.
Solo! Leia, Solo! Solo!
Right here, Jabba. You didn't think I was gonna run, did you?
Ahan mabuki. Kili kalia kuka. Asa tauna koltimalia. Yungi dem iblilotisa. Slong trespass.
Look, Jabba, even I get bored sometimes. You think I had a choice? But I got a nice, easy charter now. Pay you back, plus a little extra. I just need a little more time.
Iyaba maduki masa. Ich bong chikok panagring. Namito to bunky dongo.
What a piece of junk!
She'll make 0.5 past light speed. She may not look like much, but she's got it where it counts, kid.
Stop that ship! Blast them! Chewie, get us out of here!
Try and hold him off. Angle of the deflector shield while I make the calculations for the jump to light speed.
Stay sharp. There's 2 more coming in. They're gonna try and cut us off.
That's where the fun begins.
You kidding? The rate they're gaining?
Traveling through hyperspacing like dust and crops, boy. Without precise calculations, we'd fly right through a star or bounce too close to a supernova and then end your trip real quick, wouldn't we?
Governor Tarkin, I should have expected to find you holding Vader's leash.
Princess Leia, before your execution, I would like you to be my guest at a ceremony that will make this battle station operational. Since you are reluctant to provide us with the location of the rebel base, I have chosen to test this station's destructive power on your home planet of Alderaan.
Alderaan is peace, but we have no weapons. You can't
You will
possibly...
prefer another target, a military target? Then name the system.
Dantooine. They're on Dantooine.
Continue with the operation. You may fire when ready.
What?
You're far too trusty.
No.
Are you alright? What's wrong?
I felt a great disturbance in the Force. I fear something terrible has happened. You better get on with your exercises.
Anyway, we should be at all around about 200 hours.
I like this scene, how it shows the Death Star, the power of the Death Star anyway. I like that. Because I wasn't really familiar with the Death Star. You guys had to inform me, like throughout the prequel trilogy anyway, about the Death Star. So I think I like the Death Star and how it just destroys the planet with the one blast. I think that's cool. But yeah, how you guys feel about this? So wild seeing Darth Vader and Leia together though. I still think that's wild.
You know, father-daughter quality time.
Yeah. How you guys feel about the scene though?
I like it for the very same reason, the sheer magnitude and gravity of the situation, like when they blow it up all around.
Yeah.
And when they had first mentioned that the Emperor had dissolved the Senate, and how are they going to get everybody to cooperate? And they'll fall in line due to fear, and you see why now. Mm-hmm. Like the stakes are extremely high, and I mean I think the Death Star is one of maybe the coolest pieces of this movie. Yeah, from the franchise as a whole.
But you know, if we being honest though, the Death Star wasn't needed to cause fear though. I think the Darth Vader choke was all that really needed to cause fear to me anyway.
On a planetary scale.
On a planet. Darth Vader can come down. The way I look at Darth Vader, he can come down and massacre people on the planet.
That's Darth Vader, not Frieza.
Damn near close. I mean, the way they constructed his suit, man. I mean, he was damn near close.
Mecha Frieza.
Like his cape was like immune to blaster bolts, so there was no way to really attack him from behind.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, when the Emperor designed the suit, I mean, it was foolproof. It was really the only person. It was designed in a way that the only person that could really manipulate the suit was the Emperor.
Which is no surprise.
Yeah.
One thing I think was at the beginning of the scene was Darth Vader talking. So I just thought it was funny. Like, just as you watch the movie multiple times, you start to notice very minute details. So when James Earl Jones was talking, he was breathing at the same time that he was talking. Did you notice that?
No, I didn't notice that.
And it was just impossible. But as a voice actor, if not one of the most iconic voice actors of all time.
Yeah.
And actually, he just signed off and sold his rights to Disney. You saw that? Yeah. To where they can now recreate his voice and they own it as intellectual property.
Oh wow! Yeah, I believe, as always, it's a beautiful scene. I think the irony of the Death Star is that it's powered by a kyber crystal. As you know, the kyber crystal is the same thing that Jedi use to hone their lightsaber. So yeah, it's like a really big tamed kyber crystal. So it's crazy that what you can use as either an offensive or defensive mechanism within your lightsaber housing can also be used to destroy complete planets once the kyber crystal is tamed properly. Like it's a crazy thing to think about.
I also like Luke and Han bickering back and forth throughout this scene and really the movie since they met. To be honest with you, I think that's kind of cool. I don't know. Yeah.
For someone that just lost his his aunt and uncle.
Sorry, what was that?
For someone that just lost his aunt and uncle, man, he got a lot to.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said it does seem he never mentions it again, or it doesn't seem like
there's never any moment of grief. He just immediately like, all right,
let's go to the next one. I'm being a Jedi.
I would think that he was raised by Harry Potter's like he was glad to see him go.
Go, yes, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
I got to transfer to the academy.
Take that, uncle.
Damn.
You didn't want me to go to the academy? Well, guess what? I get to become a Jedi next. It sounds like a fair trade off to me. But yeah, I mean, the only thing I don't like, and I don't know if you guys can see it, Vader is ridiculously tall, like his cybernetic, and I just don't like how in this scene they have him pretty much either the same height or in some cases almost shorter than some of the officers. Like
he's supposed to be.
Isn't he supposed to be like 7 feet tall?
Yeah, he's like a monstrous. Okay. Like he towers over everybody. Like he's not short.
Even the physical actor that they had playing him was 7 feet tall.
Yeah, like even Anakin wasn't short. Anakin was one of the taller Jedis. Like Hayden Christensen's Anakin was way taller than Obi-Wan. So I would assume by default, Tarkin being as old as he is, he's supposed to be significantly taller than Tarkin. So
was George Lucas trying to make him was he his original idea of him?
As far as his height?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, think about to the earlier scene, like when he's holding the dude up, choking him, like his feet are dangling from the ground. And like just in this scene, I guess because of the angle that it's shot at, if you have his whole height factored in, then everyone's head is at his chest, and so he can't be part of the scene, where they're shooting it at. But that angle alone kind of like, again, it's nitpicking, but
it doesn't do him any justice and downplays the scale.
Yeah, for sure. Because I mean, even if you think back to the scene when old boy was disrespecting the Force, when Tarkin and Vader were standing side by side, I mean, Tarkin was significantly shorter than Vader.
I think what you said about just if they shot it at a different angle, you wouldn't be able to get Vader in the entirety of the shot. Just like you said, it's probably the most accurate reason.
But regardless, like I said, it's a beautiful scene to kind of get the the true power of the Death Star. Because even as they bring it back, as they bring it forward into the Disney iterations, when we see the Death Star used, it does not yet have that planetary destruction attribute to it just yet. Like they use it and it tears up the Earth, destroys cities, kills people, but it never fully blows up an Earth, a planet yet. Yeah. So
one thing. So when you did to the CGI, I was kind of curious about this earlier too. Is one of the things? So they added some life forms. So the various fauna, but they did not modify the lightsabers and the lasers. So the lightsabers in this film, they're very two-dimensional. It looks like they're wielding flat pieces of light.
Yeah.
And they didn't do it with the Death Star's beam either. And those are, I didn't really have that much of a problem with the lightsabers for whatever reason. I guess because there was one movement that Luke did that made it look pretty bad. Yeah. But with the Death Star, when he did that, it's like it glitched or something like that. But I would say that it was a missed opportunity for them to utilize the newer technology to clean that up. It's still good. Like, I'm not gonna say it's a bad film because of that, but it's just odd being that they utilize CGI to improve the film elsewhere, but chose not to there.
Fight!
Round 7.
Our scout ships have reached Untitled. They found the remains of a rebel base, but they estimate that it has been deserted for some time.
She lied. She lied to us.
I told you she would never consciously betray the rebellion.
Stand by, Chewie. Here we go. Cut in the sublight engines.
What's going on?
Our position's correct, except no Alderaan.
What do you mean? Where is it?
So I'm trying to tell you, kid, it ain't there. It's totally blown away.
What? How?
Destroyed by the Empire. A fighter that size couldn't get this deep into space on its own.
Look at him. He's heading for that small moon.
I think I can get him before he gets there. He's almost in range.
That's no moon.
We'll reverse. Chewie, lock in the auxiliary power.
Why are we still moving towards it?
We're caught in a tractor beam that's pulling us in.
You can't win, but there are alternatives to fighting.
To your stations. Come with me.
Yes?
We've captured a freighter entering the remains of the Alderaan system.
They must be trying to return the stolen plans to the princess. She may yet be of some use to us.
There's no one on board, sir. According to the log, the crew abandoned ship right after takeoff.
Send a scanning crew aboard. I want every part of this ship checked.
Yes, sir.
I sense something. A presence I've not felt since...
There's no one here.
This is ridiculous. Even if I could take off, I'd never get past the tractor beam.
Leave that to me.
Hey down there! Could you give us a hand with this?
TK-421, why aren't you at your post? Take over. We've got a bad transmitter. I'll see what I can do.
The tractor beam is coupled to the main reactor in 7 locations. A power loss at one of the terminals will allow the ship to leave.
I don't think you boys can help. I must go alone.
I want to go with you.
Be patient, Luke. Stay and watch over the droids.
But he can...
They must be delivered safely, or other star systems will suffer the same fate as Alderaan. The Force will be with you. Always.
What is it? I'm afraid I'm not quite sure, sir. He says I found her and keeps repeating she's here.
Well, who? Who has he found?
Princess Leia. I'm afraid she's scheduled to be terminated.
No.
We've got to do something.
I'm not going anywhere.
They're gonna execute her. Look, a few minutes ago you said you didn't want to just wait here to be captured. Now all you want to do is stay? They're gonna kill her!
Better her than me.
She's rich. Rich, powerful. Listen, if you were to rescue her, the reward would be...
What?
Well, more wealth than you can imagine.
I don't know. I can imagine quite a bit.
Get it. What should Artu and I do if we're discovered here?
Lock the door. And hope they don't have blasters.
I like the scene with them entering the actual Death Star. And as far as like the adventure, like I said, I think everything about this movie flows perfectly. From them meeting to them actually coming in contact with Darth Vader and the Death Star, and them actually rescuing Leia, and locating and rescuing Leia anyway. And I like that about the adventure. It's never forced in the movie. I feel it flows organically throughout, and I like that. Sure. How do you guys feel about it too?
I mean, I like the actual piece where they managed to evade the stormtroopers when they did the inspection. I thought that was pretty clever. I did think it was kind of strange how they popped when you could still see the shadows of the stormtroopers like right there, and just the amount of noise that they were making, they weren't noticed. That was a bit odd.
Probably my biggest question was why Chewbacca, Han Solo, and Luke was in one, and then you got Obi in his own compartment. And then my other question is, how big are these fucking smugglers? You got Chewbacca standing up, or what's he doing? Like he just said, like I was like, how big are these smuggling containers? That was my really only nitpicking thing about it. But other than that, I like it though.
It gets you really engaged in like just the way the film overall is put together. And I'm already excited for what's going to come next. So I think, to all honesty, you're saying it's massively skilled. It's not forced and everything makes sense. You're like, okay, so how are they going to get off the Death Star? It's not just like, oh, they're going to find the door. It's not telegraphed in that sense.
Exactly.
Yeah, my only qualm would be nitpicking as well. It's like clearly you hear two blaster shots. They're blasting the stormtroopers. Yet when they put on their equipment, there's no blaster points in any of the equipment. But other than that, like I said, everything is beautiful about the scene, similar to the last one. And as you said, Josh, everything is flowing really smooth.
Yeah. And plus, they were just at Alderaan, so it makes sense why they came in contact with the Death Star. So,
Fight!
Round 8.
Too little short for a stormtrooper.
I'm Luke Skywalker. I'm here to rescue you.
You're who?
I'm here to rescue you. I've got your R2 unit. I'm here with Ben Kenobi.
Ben Kenobi? Where is he?
Come on.
He is here.
Obi-Wan Kenobi. Surely he must be dead by now.
Don't underestimate the Force.
The Jedi are extinct. Their fire has gone out of the universe. You, my friend, are all that's left of their religion.
Obi-Wan is here. The Force is with him.
If you're right, he must not be allowed to escape.
Get behind me! Get behind me!
Watch your left. They went down the cell bay.
C-3PO! C-3PO! Are there any other ways out of the cell bay? We've been cut off! The main entrance seems to be the only way in or out. All other information on your level is restricted.
Open up in there. Open up in there.
I can't hold off forever. Now what?
This is on rescue.
What the hell are you doing?
Somebody has to save our skins.
Wonderful girl. Get in there. Get out of here.
No, wait!
Put that thing away! You're gonna get us all killed!
Absolutely, Your Worship. Look, I had everything under control till you let us down here.
Something just moved past my leg. Look! Did you see that?
Anywhere!
He's disappeared!
Don't just stand there and try and brace it with something!
Wait! 3PO!
Take over. Need a hit.
They're madmen. They're heading for the prison level. If you hurry, you might catch them.
Follow me.
Oh. If you don't mind, I'd like to take him down to maintenance.
All right.
3PO! Come in, 3PO!
One thing's for sure, we're all gonna be a lot thinner.
Are you there, sir?
Shut down all the garbage mashers on the detention level, will ya? Do you copy?
Cut them all down. Hurry!
We're all right. You did great.
You was weak at how Chewbacca was pressed him against it.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I don't have many problems with this movie, but I have problems with this scene because one, the stormtroopers are so fucking stupid. They just let fucking C-3PO and R2 just these are still not the droids we're looking for. Even though Darth Vader knows we're looking for some fucking droids, and that causes them to save them right here. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? That's kind of mind blowing me when I see that.
C-3PO used the Force.
We are not the droids. Oh my goodness. How you guys feel about the scene?
I thought it was effective. I mean, it wasn't like really a standout scene in my estimation. It moved the plot along. It did drag on a little long, the sequence while they were in the trash masher. I felt that's my only critique.
It's my only qualm as well. The trash masters or garbage masters, and like one, we don't know how deep it is yet. Everyone's standing, and it appears to no higher than their shins. Yet Luke is fully submerged, and I mean he's literally less than 2 feet away. We see Han circling the area, and Han is still the same level, but somehow Luke is being submerged deep into the water, and the animal swims away.
That we don't know what it is.
Yeah. Have y'all seen Small Soldiers?
Yeah.
The eye looks just like the toy from.
I feel like when it was playing on the spaceship, with the was it C-3PO when it was playing on the spaceship. I feel like that
the chessboard.
That was from Small Soldiers type of thing too, right? That reminded me of Small Soldiers.
One thing in the vein of that, the creature, how is that creature able to live inside the trash compactor without being compacted?
Because he can swim away.
My only thought, because it saw that, or it knew that sound meant it was going to be compacted, so it had to go somewhere. So my thinking is it must be like a mollusk similar to an octopus that could squeeze into small crevices.
I don't think George Lucas didn't give me answers on that one. Look, he just.
I'm pretty sure. One of those Star Wars explain books, the books that talk about all the different nuances of their character bios and stuff like that. They probably do tell you what creature that is. I wouldn't be surprised if it was.
Me neither. But whatever happened, I got the answers. I mean, it just perplexes me. I don't know. He let me go and swim away.
Why?
It's dirty water. How can you even?
Where did he go?
How did he get that in the first place?
So many questions.
Y'all boys need to shower up. Other than that, man, like I said, everything's been flowing smoothly. Or as you've been saying, Josh, everything's been flowing smoothly. This is probably the one detractor scene. Yeah. One other thing, I do not like how it just feels that Vader is answering to Tarkin. Vader is supposed to be second in command to Palpatine, and I feel like in this entire movie, he's been playing second fiddle to Tarkin.
I did get that vibe for sure.
That is the only thing I do not like this far. But again, Tarkin is one of the higher ups in the Empire, armistice stance. But as far as just a hierarchy within the Empire, it's Emperor Palpatine and then Darth Vader. And I just get the feel the entire time that he's trying to justify his decisions per se to someone that is, in the grand scheme of things, his a subordinate. Yeah.
What gave you that feel? So for me, the one thing that I noticed was when Grand Moff Tarkin told him to let him go.
That is the first thing.
What were the others?
The second thing is, of course, it just feels like he's reporting to him on all the things associated with Leia instead of vice versa. And then, of course, I feel like he's trying to justify Obi-Wan being on the ship to him. Like, you know, he's telling him that, yeah, Obi-Wan's not on the ship. He's dead. Like, he's rebuttaling in ways that are, as a viewer, or excuse me, as a watcher, you know, making us perceive that he's doubting Vader's ability. And this is, you know, the second most powerful Force wielder in the universe at this point. And had it not been for, you know, Obi-Wan, he would have been the most powerful.
Yeah.
Same way the first guy was kind of doubting the Force, like, you know, even Tarkin, like, you are the last one of, you know, your relic religion. And it's just like, you know, he could literally kill you right now.
Without touching you.
Without even touching you, and the Emperor would be frustrated, but that would be the extent. Is what it is. I mean, I get it. Tarkin is the, you know, the overseer, or, you know, he's Grand Moff, so he has full control over the Death Star. I get it in that sense. But still, Emperor has control over the entire Empire. Vader is second in command when it comes to the Empire. Like, it doesn't make sense to me that he's playing second fiddle to Tarkin.
Fight! Round 9.
Are you safe? For the moment. We're in the main hangar across the ship.
It's them. Blast them.
Get back to the ship! Where are you going?
These are the worst stormtroopers ever, bro.
I've been waiting for you, Obi-Wan. We meet again at last.
You can't win, Darth. If you strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you can possibly imagine.
What kept you?
We ran into some old friends. Look.
Let's go.
Ben?
Run, Luke, run!
Alright, so I just want to take a moment to address the fact that that is probably the worst lightsaber battle in the entirety of the franchise. And I say that not because of the thing where he strikes him with the lightsaber, he strikes Obi-Wan, and he just dissolves, and he's just a rogue. Mm-hmm. That is problematic in itself, but Darth Vader could have killed him sooner because just how slow and clunky they were both moving. But Obi-Wan did that unnecessary swirl, and he could have just stabbed him in the back and just been done with it. And I was just looking at like how awkward it was. It was like they were playing, you know, when you pass them in the hallway, and you both like do that weird stutter step thing. That's what they were both doing with the lightsabers. It was like, it was just so terribly choreographed.
Interesting. Yeah, it's definitely not the best lightsaber battle at all. I would definitely agree with you. I didn't have I wasn't like too like mad at it because of the times, and I know
when Obi-Wan was vaporized.
That I believe I understood it because I believe he was trying to give Luke the idea to leave, basically. Because I think Luke would have stayed there and tried to help him if he did, and basically sacrifice himself.
No, I'm saying his body, like he was just a rogue.
Oh yeah, I didn't understand that. I didn't really.
I was like, what are you trying to say? Like there was a reason behind that?
No, I didn't understand that. I was the reason why he sacrificed himself. That's what I was talking about. But I don't know why he necessarily dissipated. I was going to ask Des.
I think you're asking the wrong guy. I don't think you can explain that.
Yeah, but I didn't know. Yeah, it's definitely not the best lightsaber battle. It's definitely not the one from Revenge of the Sith. Trust me, definitely not. But I wasn't too like, because of the times, and this came out in 1977.
Usually, I am forgiving with context because I understand what the capabilities are. But we've seen people get killed by lightsabers in this film, and it didn't look anything as grotesque as what they tried to pass off as that scene for Obi-Wan just there.
Yeah. Like I said, it's not the best lightsaber.
You have to suspend believability to a certain degree because this is a science fiction action film.
Yeah.
But that doesn't obey any laws that were previously set. Like I've seen people get struck by lightsabers before in this film, and no one was vaporized at all.
The only thing I could think of is that they tried to justify it in the sequel, which is 7, 8, 9, and I think they tried to justify this particular scene in 8 when Rey is being trained by Luke, and they go to I forget the name of the planet, but essentially what Luke does is he's still at this, in the planet that he's hiding from, where he has the failed Jedi Order, and like he's on his meditation stone, and he's there on this planet, but like in a Force essence type thing. Like his physical presence is on one side of the galaxy, but then there's this aura of himself on the other side. And what happens is like Kylo Ren and the First Order, they have the I don't know what they're called. I forget. I think they're called the Rebellion again, or whatever they are. They're essentially pinned out, and Luke comes through and stops the whole invasion itself because of Kylo's arrogance alone. And like when Kylo comes out of the walker, he and Luke, address each other, like in the middle of the battlefield, and he goes to stab Luke, but it's just like his Force essence, like it's not actually Luke. So I think they try to justify it later in the sequels, but I think it's still like a poor correlation because as far as we've seen, this is the real Obi-Wan. We don't ever see him meditating anywhere to where it's possible that they're dealing with another essence of Obi-Wan. So I mean, I don't get it. Maybe George Lucas explains it, but it's not one of those things that's popularly talked about. But it's neither here nor there.
They were probably getting close to the end of the time they had allocated to shoot the film. Like something has to go.
Interesting. Yeah. I was going to ask, like, I didn't know if that had something to do with him actually talking to Luke, because you hear him talking to Luke and like, go Luke, go, because I didn't understand.
Because he became one with the Force.
It becomes a Force ghost like immediately.
Okay. How does that work? The Force ghost. You like a Jedi Master?
Yeah, I mean,
it seemed like it was no ever mention of that in the first 3 movies. So
it is, and at the end of episode 3, where when Yoda tells him, like, I have training for you, how to commune with your, with your old master. So I think Qui-Gon had mastered it early. I don't know all the other Jedi who have mastered it, but it's something that Obi-Wan worked with, and especially in the Kenobi series, he talks to Qui-Gon again. Like he really, because he cut himself off from the Force, he had a really hard time learning how to do it. But then once he, reconnected himself with the Force at the end of the series or end of the season, I don't know what they're going to do with it. But at the end of the season, he gets a chance to talk to Qui-Gon again through the Force Ghost.
Oh, okay.
Same thing they did with Anakin. I mean, this was George Lucas's, his point of view on things at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Like when Anakin dies, he immediately becomes a Force Ghost. It's almost like you repent for your sins. You accept. No, I ain't gonna say it.
Please. I was enjoying.
I was gonna say you repent for your sins and accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. And the Force immediately, gifts you with the blessing of being a Force Ghost. But no, it's
repentance. Repentance. Which one is it?
I don't know.
The Catholic Church was selling them as you pay this and you're forgiven.
Yeah, I mean that's essentially what it. No, it's not. It's not a simple Catholic film. That's just banter, but yeah, it is one of those things that it's touched on in episode 3, and then again, like I said, they try and give a little bit of guidance towards it in the Last Jedi, but as you guys know, that's Disney's writing, so they try to make sense of it, but it doesn't make perfect sense because it's not George Lucas or Dave Filoni's writing, so it's neither here nor there. Okay. Good scene regardless.
Yeah. How did you agree with him about the lightsaber?
I didn't care too much about the take on it because I understand it, but I'm a bit more objective on it as a whole. Like for the time, and if we're considering how old Obi-Wan is during this time, like I'm not expecting. I think it spoils us because we've seen 1, 2, and 3, so we've seen what has evolved as far as lightsaber dueling just within the franchise itself, not necessarily trying to put ourselves in place as far as that time goes. Excuse me. So for this to be our first lightsaber duel, it's not terrible. I just think that we're a bit more, subjective to it because of what we've seen thus far.
And you got to think too, in the prequel, you got Yoda fighting.
Yeah,
most of the fighting was basically CGI.
In Yoda's flipping off of ships and
even that Count Dooku too, and the last one. And Anakin. Say it again.
Well, we're just talking about like age, like how old Yoda was and how old Palpatine was, and like they're doing all this flipping, and they're very agile.
Yeah. So they couldn't.
And they also were Force Masters, which augments the physical capabilities.
Yeah. So that's another thing why it's like.
All right. Obi-Wan didn't look too sharp in this movie.
He was definitely on his last leg.
I mean, I enjoyed it just because I thought it was funny. Yeah. If nothing else. And I do understand, like you said, the context, but even within the time period in which this movie was created, I still think they could have done better than that.
Yeah, I suppose.
And look at the rest of the movie.
And also, too, I think I remember reading that nobody thought this movie was going to be like really successful as it was too. So I think George Lucas was just like, let's just put this in here, whatever. I think he was just like.
Then he got successful. People were like, shit.
Like, damn, man, I should explain that more.
We'll try and make it as good as possible.
Yeah.
You don't play.